Have you ever seen one of those videos on the internet with someone playing with one of those rock crawlers, the remote control ones, and gone, cool? No? That's just me? Ugh. Anyway, I found this really cool add-on for Aeronatics. And I thought, this kind of looks like... So that got me thinking, can I recreate one of those rock crawlers in my... The answer is...
I don't know.
But I can try and find out. So, I started out by placing some blocks. Oh my god, that's how you play the game, idiot. Well, initially, I thought I could use gears of some kind to drive the wheels. That's clearly not gonna work. But that didn't work, so I swapped to encased chain drives. Next, I tried seeing what size wheel I'd want. I ended up deciding on the large wheels. Then, I placed the engine and placed down a universal joint. I couldn't understand why it wasn't working. It's because the angle's too harsh, you dum-dum. So I tried to do the exact same thing again, thinking it would end differently. Next, I tried to go back to gears for some reason. Eventually, I swapped back to encased chain drives. I did eventually figure out how to get the universal joints to work. I quickly realized I was running into issues with clearances and being able to fit the redstone receivers to control the steering. So once again, I tried to use gears. I'm not even gonna say anything, bro. Okay, like seriously, bro. Stop trying to use gears. I started getting something that seemed to be working. Everything was going well. Far too well. But I glued it all together in order to give it a test run. The first half looked really promising. But then...
Oh no, it all went wrong!
I needed to reevaluate. I tried adding some pneumatic rods to stiffen the frame. Next, I tried changing which axis the pneumatic rods pivoted on. This wasn't much better. So I tried adding another one to the other side of the car. But this didn't do anything at all. I was very quickly realizing I have no idea what I'm doing.
You clearly have no idea what you're doing, bro.
It was obvious. I needed to research. I ended up deciding I needed to tear the whole thing down and start from scratch. With my better understanding, I started to try and recreate how the real rock crawlers work. This was pretty tricky to do while still leaving room for the redstone receivers. I had something that I thought might work, so I glued it all together. Lo and behold, I did something wrong.
Hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
I did eventually get this to work though. Next, I put on some temporary wheels at the back. The front was sitting a little bit low, so I added some springs to simulate the suspension. I noticed even with the springs, it wasn't quite pivoting right. I thought this might be because the rear was too stiff. I recreated the front end, but mirrored it so it'd be exactly the same on the rear end. And I thought it was starting to look really cool at this point. Next, I messed with the settings in the pneumatic rods because they were too short, and that's what was causing the car to be too low. Now the suspension was actually starting to function properly, and I was getting really excited. I tweaked all of the pneumatic rods some more, and this seemed to really help. It wasn't quite perfect though, so I tried having a spring on each side of the suspension rather than one in the middle. I also realized the other pneumatic rod was very necessary to stop the wheels moving backwards and forwards. If you're still watching at this point, I would really like to ask for you guys to like the video and to subscribe if you're enjoying this. I've put a lot of effort into the last few videos, and I would love to be able to keep doing more for you guys. So I added a pneumatic rod back at the front, and this made it so much better. I did the same on the back, and I gave it a test.
Okay, bro, why is this actually starting to look good?
I decided it's finally time to start working on the drivetrain. Next, I started testing out using the universal joints again.
Oh my god, is that actually moving?
I decided that I wanted to try and make this car a four-wheel drive as well. Everything was working really well at this point. I added a seat and decided it's time to start putting in the steering. Then I realized I didn't leave enough space for the redstone links.
You silly goober.
I decided to put in the redstone links and then redo the transmission. I also realized I needed to move the pneumatic rods on the front as well. This wasn't very hard to fix up. I did the same on the rear. The easiest way to connect the transmission again was just to extend both sides out one extra block. I reconnected the universal joints, and it was time to give it a test drive. Next, I added a gear shift so I could add a reverse gear to the car. I added a redstone torch because I needed to invert the clutch. Now, it was time to link all of the redstone links to my linked typewriter.
Do you understand how silly you sound saying linked that many times, bro?
I decided to use colored wools to program the linked typewriter. Next, I made sure the steering was all working correctly. Then I programmed the gear shift. Finally, it was time to test if everything worked.
There's no way this is gonna work at all, bro. Oh my god, it's working!
I was really happy with how the suspension was performing now, and the handling was pretty good as well. I'd increased the speed, and it was just absolutely beautiful. It was a little bit top heavy, but nothing that I would say is bad. Now, it was time to make this look like a four-wheel drive. I was originally aiming to go for something that looked like one of the older Toyota Land Cruisers.
Okay, I'm starting to see the vision now.
I was definitely finding it tricky with the amount of blocks I had at my disposal. But I powered on, and I kept placing more and more blocks, building up the looks. I swapped to the front end, and I started building out the big grille.
Okay, this thing might actually look really cool.
I kept on placing blocks and building up details until, eventually, I had done it. I had created the four-wheel drive.
Come on, bro, that looks absolutely horrible.
Okay, I get it. I'm not the best at building the actual looks of the car, but the aesthetics aren't the point here. The point is, this thing is awesome. You can see the suspension functioning exactly how it's supposed to. And yes, it can rock crawl. So, there you have it. I successfully created a working rock crawler in Minecraft. Now, I'd love to know if there is anything else I should build, or maybe anything I should put this through in testing. Maybe I should build an obstacle course, or something like that. I'd love to hear your suggestions, so if you want to see me build anything else, or put this car through some crazy tests, Other than that, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and I'll catch you guys at